What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Astrobot, kind of gush about it, look at the trailer, look at the PlayStation blog. Firstly, may I just say, the best thing they showed at the State of Play by a mile. Secondly, may I just say, this is a real shot to be a special game. I don't know about Game of the Year. I kind of joked, and even when it was first shown, jokingly said this is Game of the Year. I have a lot of optimism based off of their track record, which has been kind of sparkling, that I think they'll do a really good job here. And even just reading the PlayStation blog of the additional details, which is what we're going to do in this video, I'm very, very pumped for this game. So, September 6th, that's a big one. Pre-orders start in June. We'll kind of get to that. The one thing I want to throw in as a negative before we get to all this positive, and it's something that many, many people are commenting on, no PSVR 2 support. At least they didn't say it, and I think that's because it's not happening, right? If it was going to happen, they would have said something. That is a big miss. Also, considering their history, look, is it a requirement? Do they need to put the freaking PSVR 2 on their backs? They shouldn't have to. They should not have to. But at the same time, this is a studio with experience. This is a game that really could work with VR2. The VR2 needs games, and it just feels like a perfect fit that's not actually happening, right? So I do just want to throw my hat in the ring and say, I hear the people saying, why in God's name is that not happening? It doesn't make sense to me either, but hey, maybe that would have taken the game another 2-3 years to even happen. And in that case, I'm actually fine with what's going on right now. Okay, let's look at what they say in the PlayStation blog. In this brand new game, you'll explore 6 galaxies and over 80 levels in search of Astro's scattered crew. Hold on tight to your dual speeder and dive down into each unique planet, from lush forests, sandy beaches, hot volcanoes, to more surprising locations such as gigantic hourglass or the canopy of a singing tree. To get help on this mission, Astro can now use 15 new abilities offering unique playstyles. As you'd expect from an Astro game, these can take advantage of the DualSense controller, its haptic feedback, and adaptive triggers, so you can feel every little step along the way. Along with many new powers, you'll find Barkster, the Bulldog booster that lets you air dash and smash through enemies, metal, and glass, the Twin Frog gloves that offer long-range punching and the ability to swing, and the Giant Sponge that lets you suck up water from the environment to grow huge and cause massive and slightly moist destruction. Combined with improved Astro controls, these new powers take the Astro platform experience to new heights while remaining accessible for all. We can't wait for you to get your hands on it. We also cranked up the number of baddies too, with over 70 new types, including massive bosses at the end of each galaxy. And for the brave ones of you craving even more challenge, the game comes packed with die and retry levels to test your reflexes. But that's not all. Astro will reunite with many friends from the PlayStation universe. The trailer shows only a few, but we double down on the cast and hope to delight every PlayStation fan out there. And who knows, maybe this time these characters will play an even bigger part in saving the day. And then at the end, they talk about June 7th being the pre-order. So remember, this is not going to be a free game. I saw people, I guess, worried or just kind of throwing it out there where it's like, hey, I really hope it's free. It was never going to be free, right? Even from when we first started hearing about it. So this is going to be a game you have to pay. I don't know if it's confirmed because the pre-orders aren't out yet, right? I don't know if it's a full 70, maybe it's a 60 or a 40 or a 50. You got a couple different price ranges to work with. I would just bet on, look, 70 is the highest, 70 is the normal one, maybe slightly less, but we'll have to see. Ultimately, honestly, I'll say this, price for me is not going to be an issue. The game looks good, and for me, it's quality over quantity. I don't care how long it is. I'm picking this game up. It looks great. They mentioned themselves, in terms of the platforming, the game looks like a pure platformer. Really, really good. The level retrying things, that was a huge part of Astro's Playroom. The adaptive triggers and haptic feedback, no other game has done it even close to, Astro's Playroom, so they're just kind of the kings at that by now. The game visually looked good. Of course, I'm a big water guy, so I love seeing those water levels. And then the PlayStation thing, number one, Sly Cooper's got to be in it. He is, I believe, in Playroom, so that's cool. But, that's kind of interesting, right? Because the last one was more of like, they were there, but they were kind of on the outskirts, right? It was about celebrating PlayStation's history, from the levels to the environment, whatever it might be, to the characters. And they would play a part to the level, but they wouldn't play the biggest part. They'd kind of be something that you can see off to a distance. You would see something happen happening. This one sounds like maybe they'll be allies at times. Maybe you'll be having them fight alongside you, or they'll maybe do something in the environment to trigger something to get you to the next place. It sounds like that, where they're going to have a bigger part to play with how you progress through the level. So I'm all for that. I mean, you get a good amount of them, right? You get a little journey action, you get some God of War, Uncharted, Eco, like all of these games. There's a lot already in the trailer. I know Ratchet and Clank was spotted, Jack and Daxter. Again, we need Sly, and I'm sure Last of Us, like every single one, I think will be covered. I'm not really worried that they'll forget. Even a weird offshoot one, I feel like they would still manage to find a way to include it. So I'm pumped. I'm going to be getting this game. I'll be covering it best I can, leading into it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.